There's no doubt about it, Arsenal are on the attack this summer. After a brilliant campaign in which they unexpectedly challenged for the Premier League title, they're now aggressively strengthening the team with marquee signings. Declan Rice, Kai Havertz and Jurrien Timber have all been secured for a combined outlay of around £200 million. It's a mark of intent from Arsenal, who have finally clawed their way back into the top four and clearly intend to stay there. With the business done early, Mikel Arteta can now set about sculpting his new team. But what will that team look like? Let's explore that right now. First, let's add Declan Rice into the mix. At just north of £100 million, he's a British record signing, so he'll become an immediate cornerstone in this team. Expect him to slot in at the base of Arsenal's midfield. He's comfortable receiving the ball off the centre-backs, turning and progressing play. He's also extremely good defensively and can cover large areas, making him great protection for Gabriel and William Saliba. Statistically, he stood out in all facets last season, making the fourth most tackles and interceptions combined and delivering the fourth most accurate long balls in the Premier League. He also delivered the most switch passes in the division, even more than Trent Alexander-Arnold. He has a remarkable all-round skill set, perfect for the base of midfield. Rice also has just over 50 appearances at centre-back to his name, which came when he broke into the West Ham senior team back in 2017-18. That gives him a nice understanding of how to operate if he needs to drop into the line to cover a marauding centre-back run. There might be a scenario where he plays as the left central midfielder, a bit higher up on occasion. He loves to go box to box and has outstanding athleticism. He moulds himself on Yaya Toure and loves to be set free on the run, so that's an option if Arteta needs it. Don't expect that to happen too regularly though, as when everyone's fit, that left central midfield spot is for Kai Havertz. He's perhaps one of the world's most misunderstood players, but at Arsenal there's a clear plan for him that might just re-energise his career. Go back just 3 years and the German was seen as a potentially elite attacking midfielder, but his Chelsea career was a jumble of positions and roles that steadily chipped away at his confidence and playing level. A simple look at his goal-scoring numbers to date paints a clear picture. For Bayer Leverkusen, he perfected his timing of runs into the box from midfield, and that brought goals, lots of them. He scored 17 in 2018-19 as he blossomed, then bagged 12 the year after, even with defences keying in on his threat. Compare that to a full season as a striker at Chelsea, in which he returned a measly 7 goals and 1 assist, and it's clear to see where he's most comfortable. Arsenal wouldn't have spent £60 million plus on him without knowing all of this, and they have a vision for him. He'll slot in next to Martin Ødegaard and help create from the centre, but also be given license to push into the box, arriving late and scoring goals. In order to facilitate this, Arsenal's midfield will shift from a traditional-looking 3 into a box-shaped 4 on the ball, as Alexander Zinchenko steps up alongside Rice. This also helps Arsenal press high if there's a turnover. They'll have 5 or 6 players high up and spread across the 5 channels of the pitch to cover gaps. There is still a chance that he'll be looked to as a deputy number 9 at times, should Gabriel Jesus get injured. But what he needs more than anything is a consistent midfield role, and that's something Arteta will surely understand. Adding quality like Havertz and Rice is vital for Arsenal's continued progression, but so is adding depth. Jurrien Timber is a mix of both, and he looks like the perfect player to add into the defensive line. Timber spent the last 2 seasons either roaming out of defence for Ajax or playing on the right side of a back 3 for the Netherlands, covering the channel behind the energetic Denzel Dumfries. It makes him the perfect player to play Arteta's hybrid centre-back, right-back role, or Benjamin White's role, you might call it. It's a demanding position. You need great athleticism and tactical understanding. You need to be comfortable carrying the ball and linking with a winger, and you need to get into the opposition box and be a final third factor too. Timber ticks most of these boxes and still has plenty of room to grow. The first thing he'll need to do is strike up an understanding with star boy Bukayo Saka, as that's what really cements White into that position for now, their chemistry. Timber can also play as the right-sided centre-back, and this is where his recovery pace will really pop, meaning the drop-off in quality from Saliba down to the next guy isn't nearly so steep. So, 3 big signings, 3 major players who will change the fabric of the team, upgrading the overall quality and adding depth too. After such a great 2022-23 season, it may seem risky to mess with the dynamics, but Arsenal need to replace some key outgoings, plus they know that standing still is effectively the same as going backwards. Just look at Liverpool's drop-off from 2020 to 2021 for proof of that. With Mauricio Pochettino at Chelsea, Newcastle United on the rise, Manchester United expecting a takeover, Liverpool spending big, and Manchester City as strong as ever, it's probably never been harder to finish in the Premier League top 4. With these types of signings though, Arsenal are giving themselves every chance of repeating that feat and more.